Hey, welcome back to the Money Master Unleashed podcast. This is Adam Olson, your host with you. And today I got a special guest, Jordan. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Adam?
I'm good. I'm good. So thanks for taking some time to do this today. So Jordan's the Director of Advisor Recruiting at Mutual of Omaha. And this is a special episode I have today. So through the podcast and through the YouTube channel that I do, I've received actually, Jordan, quite a few questions from like younger individuals, pretty much wanting to get started in the industry. Like, hey, I listened to your podcast. I enjoy the information. I like the finance world. I like the insurance and investment world, but how do I get started and what does it look like? So in this episode today, Jordan, you're going to answer all these questions for the young listeners out there. Does that sound good?
That sounds great. Let's hope I can do justice by your podcast, because I know the team enjoys seeing your stuff pop up, and hopefully we can get some more viewers for you from this.
Yeah. And so I always tell people we're always looking for great individuals to join our team at Mutual of Omaha. So whether that's our advisory group or like the company advisors as a whole, we're always looking for good people to join our team. And so that's why we're doing this today. So I want to talk first about, we're going to go through a couple things today, like who's a good individual or a candidate who should be an advisor. And then like, what does a day-to-day look like for an advisor? And then finally, we'll end like with what does that career path and hiring process look like? Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, all
Cool.
my favorite subjects. So
Yeah. So you know this a lot better than I do, just because my community is, I guess, a little bit closer knit than what you see from a national brand, right? And so who is like an ideal person to go to be a financial advisor or transition to a CFP path? Who's that ideal person? Who are you looking for?
yeah, and I always appreciate this question because there's a lot of assumptions, right, Adam? You hear financial advisor or agent, and your mind automatically goes to someone that has a finance degree or a major in insurance or someone that has their license. And ultimately, that's just not the case. We see people from various backgrounds in this role. And honestly, what it comes down to is the individual's values and what they aspire to build in a career. So we like to break it down to the three things, right? When I'm interviewing a candidate or sourcing, having conversations with candidates, what I'm trying to figure out is three things. Are they growth oriented? Are they entrepreneurial minded? And are they tenacious? So stepping back to like growth oriented, Adam, I mean, you are probably a lifelong learner of this. There's probably never enough licenses. There's never enough designations.
Yep.
So being able to like take that and develop yourself and learn and grow, and you have the development side, but then you also have the growth side of looking for new ways to run your business, new ways to prospect. I always say that the recruiting side is constantly evolving, right? We have, 10 years ago when I started with Mutual, podcasts really weren't a thing. And now look at it, like it's
They're
crazy.
all over.
They're all over, right? Yeah. And people getting the information and being able to network, like, yeah, you may be from Nebraska, but I'm sure you have people from all across the nation and maybe some international people that tune into this. So just being able to grow and adapt and the flexibility behind it is really important. Of course, entrepreneurial minded.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you're a business owner, right? And what you put into this opportunity is what you're going to get out of it. You may not know exactly what you're going to be selling or talking to people about, but having that mindset of like, I've got to be the first one here today. I've got to be the last one here today. Everything depends on my success, or the dependence on my success is on me. We'll provide the tools, we'll provide the resources, but you still have to have that mindset of owning it at the end of the day. And then tenacity.
Yeah.
I hopefully I don't flip the podcast recording on you, but my recruiter hat always goes on. And I'm like, Adam, like when you think about your first couple months or year in the business, like how many no's did you hear? And yet you're still here. Yeah.
That's all you hear when you first get started.
Right. And so being able to wake up and still put a smile on your face, have that pep in your step, and be looking for that next client that you're going to influence or help and impact in that community is extremely important.
I love that you say that, because like a lot of people mind when they think, I mean, because technically we are in sales, right? Technically, a financial advisor is in
Absolutely.
sales. And I think that, like a lot of people think that, oh, you have to be like super outgoing, you have to be super talkative, you have to be this bubbly person, you have to be, I mean, that's not really what the ideal person is in this situation. I mean, I tell our team all the time, if we can replace the word sell with help, we're going to be far more successful, right? And so I think it's, in my mind, the ideal person for this is like you said, just never wants to quit, always wants to help people, and is always learning something new so they can help more people, right? The more people that we help in this position, the more successful we're going to be, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, Adam, think back, you may have heard a no like in your first couple of months, but I'm sure you have clients that then circle back with you or
Yeah. Oh yeah.
told you no multiple times, and then we
Yeah.
sit here years later and they're now a client with you. It's just having that inner self recognition of this sales role, the impact that we make on our community, and using that to propel you forward
Yep.
every single day.
Yeah. So like individuals that are good fits, like you said, like a person that's a self-starter, but like I think of like teachers, coaches, um like those type of people I think are really good roles, because most days that's what I find myself doing is like coaching people, right? Teaching people about financial concepts and then giving them the tools that we help them implement to make a successful financial future. Like I think those are the kinds of people that fit this role really well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I always, a lot of people want to have this entrepreneurial or flexibility or creativity and go off on their own path right away. But initially, when you first come in, you've got to go through the structure piece. You've got to build all of those strong
Yep.
habits and
Yep.
really listen to what, you know, greats and legacies in the industry, right? They've all cut their teeth. So why cut your teeth when they've already done it and created the structure for you? Um, I always say it tongue in cheek because a lot of people in the industry, right? They want to sell the industry as this flexible workplace and earn what you
Yeah.
want to make,
Yeah.
and all of the jargon, right? And I can appreciate that, but that doesn't come day one.
No.
That
Yeah.
comes, 2, 3, 4 years down the line when you've earned it.
Yeah.
And what it takes up in the beginning is extremely hard work. I was just talking to one of my peers, and he's like, think about a donut shop owner, right? Who's the first car you see there? The owner. What's the last car you see there? The owner. And that's the mindset you've got to have those first couple of years to build that book of business,
Yep.
build your clients, and then you reap all of these amazing rewards and
Yeah.
never missing your kid's soccer game and
Correct.
being able to be a
Coaching your kids, right? I mean, just being
coaching.
there.
Yeah. I mean, the sky's
Yeah.
the limit, but you've got to put in the hard work. It doesn't
It-
come day one.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell like the younger people that I talk to, I'm like, it sucks. Like they're always like, how's it getting started? I'm like, it sucks. It's not easy, but like if you can make it past year 3, year 5, and you do the right things, it can be awesome. It can be a great career, provide for your family, you help people, and it's really, really fulfilling. And I think that, a lot of people when they envision this type of thing or they get into the industry, it's kind of like the rental income stuff that you see all over social media now, like, hey, you can passive income, you don't have to do anything. Well, I mean, it doesn't really work like that right away.
Not right away. No.
Yeah.
And those are all amazing rewards and all of the things that people get into for the long-term success.
Yep.
But in the short term, you have got to grind and you've got to be
Yep.
tenacious and you
Yep.
got to get after it every single day.
Yeah, I love that. So that's a good picture for me of like who's an ideal person for this, what traits do they need to have. But let's transition right now and talk about like what does it actually look like? Like what do you do? Like so let's say that person that's first starting out, Jordan. Like they went through the hiring process with you guys, you've brought them on to be a representative. What does a day look like in the life?
Yeah. I get this question a lot. They want me to describe like you check in at 8 o'clock, you do this at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the thing is if someone likes that structure, that's great. But this opportunity probably isn't for them
Yep.
because I always say no 2 days are the same. But the one thing that's probably the most common or the common thread between your days is you have to be talking to people. So if you don't like talking to people, maybe look for something else.
Yeah.
But if you do enjoy talking to people, some people who are going to be your clients, some people who are potential prospects, some people who are going to refer you on to others, I mean, you just got to be out there talking to all of these individuals. So I would tell you that that is absolutely the common thread.
Yeah.
The other thing we talk about is, and this is where the grinding and the tenacity comes into play, but at the end of your first year, we want you to have worked or have gathered at least 1,000 referrals in your network, right? And you can't do that in an office space, closed door. You've got to go out and do that in your local community.
Yep.
So that's probably the biggest thing that I would tell you is you got to be talking to people constantly. Like that's what's in your day to day. And if you find yourself not doing that day to day, then there's something missing. Another big part is what, like we talked about, is like listening and uncovering. Hopefully I don't go down the path of murder conspiracy theories, but you're almost like a detective, right? So if you like piecing together things and digging in and are like super curious about someone's like life story and their financial goals and their holistic goals for their family or self as an individual, this is definitely a career for you. Because you take all of those pieces back and then you get to build an individual tailored plan.
Yeah.
And that's really something really important for Mutual of Omaha advisors. And that's something we really like put at the center of our of everything we do is the customer. So, you know, we don't want to just give
first, right?
Yeah, we don't want to just give a blanket like, all right, Adam, you and Katie, you have 4 kids. This is the number that you need for term insurance, and this is the number that you need for whole life insurance. No, we want to sit down and understand exactly like, do you guys want to pay for college for your kids? Do you want to build any legacy funding for them? So like being able to ask the questions and stay extremely, extremely curious is another very important aspect of this career.
Yeah, I get that too, because I always say like personal finance is way more personal than finance. And like, you're not going to get that by calling into an 800 number for your 401k plan once a year or whatever it is, right? And I think something that I always tell younger people that I talk to is like your best ability when you're getting started is availability, right? Your best ability really when you're getting started is availability. So like if that's meeting somebody at 8 o'clock at night on a Monday or 10 o'clock Saturday for a brunch, like you have to be available when you're first getting started to start out in the business. And that's what really worked out well for me, because I didn't have any kids when I was first getting started. I was just married. My wife worked a night shift, so I worked a lot of hours when I first got started, and that's what it takes, really, a lot of work.
Yeah, you don't get to just walk into, again, all of those rewards that we've continued to talk about, and I think that's the thing that sparks people into getting interested in this career, and then they get into this career and don't realize like you got to be out there talking to people constantly. You've got to stay curious. You've got to do the follow-up. You've got to do all of the things that you promised that client in order to make them a lifelong client. And so that's why your days can't really look the same all the time, because you might have a client that needs, X, Y, and Z, and then you might have a client that has questions on a policy that you worked with them on 2-3 weeks ago. And hopefully, but it's also the nature of this career, you may have policies that you have to deliver to, the benefits to the beneficiary on. And those days are literally the hardest, but that's why you did all of the work. And so hopefully those days don't come very often, but that's why you can never truly plan like, hey, at 9 o'clock, you're going to check in here. 10 o'clock, you'll be here. It just doesn't. No.
So I got to go talk to the high school here in town next month. I talk to like the sophomore and freshman class every year, like a career academy thing.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
I always tell the kids this is that like, hey, if you want to be like eventually run your own business, run your own schedule, you do what you want to do. Like my path that I took, a career advisor with Mutual of Omaha, is a great path to take, right? But it's a lot of work up front, but you can reap more rewards down the road. But if you don't want to do that, there's still plenty of opportunities in this career field for people to take that are just an 8 to 5, like a regular job. Like if you just want a steady paycheck and you like this industry, like there's other roads for you to go down besides the road that I'm telling you about with Mutual of Omaha that I took, right? Safe to
Absolutely.
say. Like
Absolutely.
we're not looking for an individual at Mutual of Omaha that just wants to do 8 to 5 and just that's all I want. I don't want any more response, which is fine. Like that some people want that. That is totally fine. But that's just not what we're recruiting to, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And we, I say we, I wish I had them all in the room with me because they are just as passionate about making sure we get the right people and the right, seats in the bus. And we have a network of lots of individuals, lots of recruiters. We have resources even in our home office. And so if the appeal of the industry is there for you because you recognize the noble cause of financial insurances and you have a calling for it, but maybe the business owner side of it isn't necessarily where you're thinking, you should still reach out to me because I will connect you with as many people as I possibly can. Because I think that's amazing, Adam, that you go and talk to the high school because
Mhm.
I had no clue what I was walking into when I started 10 years ago, like no
Yeah.
clue at all. And I got this book, and I know I probably should. I'm going to plug something else out, but it's called The Bountiful Life by Harry Hoopus. And
Yep.
I read that over a girls' weekend. Side note, I'm not a very big reader, so I don't like all of the like textbooky feels, but he tells stories in it. And it, even before I stepped into my role, it solidified why people need life insurance and how many people actually need it, right? And from that book, that drives my passion every single day of like, yeah, you might tell me no about getting into this career, but I'm going to hear a couple more yeses down the road, and
Yep.
then they're going to go and impact, hundreds of families. And that's what drives me every single day of how can we make sure that more families are protected because we just aren't educated or talk about it enough.
Yeah. And I think too, like when I go to talk to younger kids, I'm like, I honestly wish there was more females in this field, to be real honest with you, because like females generally are more compassionate, they care more. And like, oh, I just heard it the other week, like the average female talks like 30,000 words a day and the male is 20,000 words a day. So typically females are better communicators too. And so like all of those things are great things for an advisor. And so I always tell younger kids like, you know, girls don't like think that this isn't a career field that you can go down because there's a lot of great females advisors. And I think you guys have a profile that really could be really, really great in this field.
Yeah. And I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about the career path, but like, honestly, I would prefer someone coming to me with no industry experience,
Yeah.
but they have that mindset of, wanting to build something for themselves and also wanting to help impact
Yeah.
their community and impact their family more importantly, because the impacting the community that will get you up in the morning, but what's going to get you back, in bed and up the next morning is that family
Yep.
motivation and uh, keeping you going when you hear all of those no's.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. So quick recap. Looking for somebody that wants to be an eventual business owner, tenacious, wants to work hard and create their own path. People that are really self-starters is who you're looking for. And then it's a lot of work up front. But, once the years go on, things get easier in their career field, right? But I
I don't
want
know
you
if
to
I would
hit
use
on
the
that.
words easier. Do you feel like
Different, different.
maybe and funner, right?
Yeah,
Like Adam, you get to
yeah,
do so many fun things, and
yep,
all of your marketing stuff is so incredible. And I don't know if I would say describe your life as easier, but I would describe it probably as more fun that you're having
yeah.
in today's world.
And like what I like about it is like I'm able to help my friends out, right? Like the stuff that I fill my brain with every week, I'm able to tell other people about that are friends and family, and then I help them create this awesome financial life. So it's like I'm helping myself by helping other people, and it's a win-win. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
But let's jump to now to close out. I want to talk about with Mutual of Omaha Advisors, you head up this whole recruiting department, right? I want to talk about the career path and hiring process. So say we have somebody that raises their hands, hey, I'm interested in doing, I fit this profile to a T. I'm interested in going down this road. What does it look like, Jordan?
Yeah, so I'll hopefully blend a little bit the career
Yeah.
path and hiring process here for you.
Yep.
So traditionally speaking, right, if you have interest in the financial services, insurance industry, traditionally speaking, most companies will bring you in on a commission-based earning role. Now, what we've offered is an extremely unique position in the industry. And what I mean by that is, while you still have to have the business owner mindset, while you still should be, working extremely hard, first one there, last one there,
Yep.
we also recognize that there needs to be stability when you first start off. So we offer an employee role that typically lasts up to 2 years, so you can build all of those habits, have the stability, but while still chasing that long-term vision of owning your own business, having that book of clients. We didn't even talk about renewals. All of the benefits of that business owner, you get it by building through an employee role. I will also say, a wise man, and he's going to probably listen to this and give me crap, but he really painted the picture perfectly. Our role as a financial representative is the worst job you can have.
Yeah.
But it is the best career opportunity you could ever want.
Yeah.
And we just talked about that 8 to 5 role. Nothing wrong with that. And if that's what you're looking for, great. I will put you in front of other people. But if you're looking for long-term vision, long-term career, really wanting to sink your teeth into something and grow and build into something, this opportunity is unlike anything else that you can come across. And so, like I said, up to 2 years of an employee role, working to build those habits, provide the stability of having the client base ready to go, learning how to work with clients, prospect, how to fact find, all of those amazing things. And then once you're ready to go independent, we're constantly looking like, did you generate enough referrals this month? Did you generate enough apps this month? Did you generate enough issued apps this month to sustain you? Because the last thing, if you go look at the industry stats of retention, it's terrible.
Oh, horrible. Yeah.
Horrible. And I don't know about you, Adam, but it always pings me a little bit, because then I'm like, those clients that they worked with, what they experience is this revolving door.
Yep.
And they don't have that Adam Olson in their pocket to touch back on. And that always, I'm like, oh, that drives me nuts, because so we don't want to create that revolving door. We want to make sure that you are stable, that you have the right habits, you know how to run your business. We haven't even gotten into everything that it takes to be a business owner. All your fun taxes that you get to do. All of the things you got to account for business expense wise. So how do we make sure you learn that while having that stability? And so in those 2 years, some people will go extremely fast, right? They will run through the milestones that we have. That's awesome. And that's what we want. Some people, it will take a little bit of time to pick up of, asking for the referral language, making sure you're pivoting to the right question, building out that portfolio or the case design. Some people, it will take a little bit longer, but that's why we have that window of up to 2 years. And then the goal is to promote you into that business owner with stability, with all of the skills that you could possibly need instead of day one.
I love that it's like a transition, because there's a lot of good people that would fit this role that have a wife, a kid, and house payment and a car payment. And for you to go from, hey, I'm going to shut off my salary and try this brand new thing with no income, it's scary.
It is,
right?
Yeah.
And I get if you have kids in a family that you don't want to shut off the income and say, hey, let's try this. Well, if you get accepted in the path that you're talking about, it is a transition, and there is kind of a bridge for you to get to the other side, which I think is awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've come across, a handful, if not, quite a few people that you see all of the potential of the world. They love talking with people. they're that person that their friend group always goes to ask for advice. Yep. And there is that hesitation because they're like, gosh, to just jump off, shut everything off, and I have no skill sets in this. It is scary. And I'm excited that this opportunity opens that door for those individuals to come in and still be able to provide their family, prepare for what a business owner transition would look like, and then reap all of the rewards that you get as a independent advisor.
Yeah, I love it. And I always tell people too, that younger guys that I talk to, I would say, go talk to a couple different companies. I mean, like, I'm not pigeonholing you, but like, once you interview with different companies, I think that you're really going to understand that, like, hey, these guys over at Mutual of Omaha really have aligned goals with what I have, like, right? So I tell them that, I've been here for 14 years now, or whatever it's been, almost 15 years. And you really get, like, it's an aligned goal that we all have. So whether it's me, my team, the home office staff, like, we all want to do the same thing, is help our clients out, right? And we're really on the same path together. We all get rewarded when we help people out in the right ways. And you really get, like, I tell people too, that, like, once you've been around, like, people, you find out that they really care about you. Like, you care about your clients, but then, like, the people above us really care about us. The home office staff really care about you. Like, how are you doing, not only professionally, but personally too? Like, it's, when we get together, it's like, you're seeing, like, it's like a family reunion. Like, everybody cares about you, which is a really cool feeling to have, knowing that, hey, these people have my back and it's more than just a work deal that we're doing.
Yeah. And honestly, some days I will talk to 10 to 20 people in a week, and they don't come into this career, and I'm okay with it. And I think that that's great advice, to go interview and make sure that, whatever career firm, agency that you join, you have vetted all of the others, and that's the best fit for you. And Mutual won't be the best fit for everyone, and that's absolutely okay. But if you have all the facts and understand what it is each of the firms offer, that's extremely important too, because sometimes, right, you wonder, is the grass greener on the other side? But you won't have to worry about that either. So no, I think the grass is very green at Mutual of Omaha. Let me make sure I put that in there. But I do recognize, the shoe doesn't fit everyone, and that's okay. And if we can be a resource, we absolutely will.
Yeah, no, I love it. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, honestly too, go talk to a few different places, like, because I have clients that I've met with before that, it just hasn't been a good fit, or people that I've met with before that it hasn't been a good fit. Like, whether or not it's something personally between us, or like it just wasn't a good fit, they had a better advisor that they could go somewhere else. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's the same thing with your workplace stuff too. So yeah, I would encourage people to check out other places, but I'm telling you, if you decide to go with Mutual of Omaha, it's a great place. They have aligned goals with you, and they'll take care of you too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so self-starters, tenacious, want to eventually run their own business. A lot of work up front, but it's a different type of work as you get older in the business. I wouldn't say it gets easier, like you said, but it's just a different type of work, right?
Yeah.
And then the career path is really, you don't totally start from zero. It's kind of a paycheck period, 2 years. If you do good, then you move on your own, correct?
Yeah.
What did I miss? What else do you want to add, Jordan? What else do you think people looking at the career field need to know?
Yeah. Well, one, hopefully we've sparked some interest or some questions. And I would tell you, even if you're not ready to hit submit on the application yet, perfectly fine. And if you want to answer some questions or go through some scenarios, myself and the team would gladly jump on the phone or jump on a Teams with you. And if you find yourself wondering that, our community email address is advisor.recruiting@mutualofomaha.com. Shoot us an email. We'll get someone to reach out as soon as possible. But if you're not ready to submit an application, that's perfectly fine. If you are ready to submit an application, definitely let us know. I assume you have comments, Adam, or
I'll put it in there.
Shoot me a note. Shoot Adam a note so that we can look for your application. But our recruiting process is a 2-step interview process. We do an audio screen at the very beginning because, like I said, you talk to a lot of people. So we want to hear that dynamic voice, how you answer questions. And then in between, we do an assessment. It's not an industry assessment. It's really looking at that, your sales skills, what you prioritize. So it's really individual based. And then, that second interview, we go through a presentation, really looking at how do you frame yourself up as a business owner in this industry. And you can find the application and all of the locations that we're currently hiring to at advisorcareers.com. Am I remembering that right?
I'll link it in the show notes. I'll link it in the description.
Okay, perfect.
Too. I'll link it in there. Don't worry about it. But it's across the United States. I mean, all over the place. We're looking for good people.
All over, yeah, and including Puerto Rico.
Yeah, nice. And two, if you guys are listening to this and you want to talk to an actual person, feel free to jump me too. I'd love to talk to you guys a little bit more if you have specific questions. So, Jordan, I think this has been awesome. I would just reiterate that we're always looking for good people to join our teams. And so reach out if you guys would be interested in talking more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Even if the location isn't in one of your areas, still let us know and we'll have some conversations. We're just looking forward to connecting and helping grow the industry holistically. So thank you so much, Adam, for giving me the time and everything. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for doing this. This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and or tax implications. It's not to be construed as legal or tax advice. Such information or opinions is subject to change without notice and is not intended to use as an offer or solicitation with respect to the purchase or sale of any security, insurance products, or offer of individual investment advice. Any strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc. does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Riser Insurance is not affiliated with Mutual of Omaha Investor Services. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Diversification does not guarantee a profit or protection lost against loss in a declining market. Purchase of life insurance is subject to meeting underwriting requirements. There is no guarantee of an individual will be insured. Annuities are long-term investments designed for retirement purposes. Withdrawals of taxable amounts are subject to income tax, and if taken prior to 59.5, a 10% federal penalty tax may apply. Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuer and are subject to their terms and conditions.